Peace and love, YouTube. Soul Asher here, and I am going to show you how to ascend on your Mystic today. I will be covering my armor and weapon setup. I will be covering skill add-ons, skills, what to use, what not to use, and I'll also be dropping a few different skill builds in the description of the video. We're also going to cover combos, initiations, engagements, main CC and damage skills to use, and overall flow and gameplay of Mystic. And then I'll also show you some live kills and some live demonstrations of how I'm playing my Mystic for those of you that haven't seen any of my live streams. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so the setup that I am currently running is Sarka Gauntlet, Tet, Kudum Vambrace, Tet, Dandelion Cestus, Tet, Muskin Shoes, Tet, Dim Tree, Tet, Ultimate Heave, Tet, 2 Earrings of Seal Magical Power, which these are no longer obtainable due to the recent patch by Pearl Abyss. I am not sure as to why we are the only version that has gotten these removed. I pray that they bring these earrings back because these are the best earrings for a Mystic pre-Kama Sylvia patch. And even in game there are still some amazing earrings. However, moving forward, best gloves, Tet, Kaposha ring, which you get for hitting level 61, which is the equivalent to a tri crescent ring, and then a tri centaurus belt. The overall purpose of this build is clearly stacking evasion through the earrings, through the Sicils, which is tri, through the centaurs, which is tri. I'm gaining evasion, accuracy, HP, and then my rings are obviously just for the AP. So with this evasion build, I am very hard to hit for people who are not stacking accuracy, and I still have a very good amount of AP. This is an AP evasion hybrid build with a alchemy stone of destruction, which will eventually hopefully be upgraded soon. Now, for my skill add-ons, I am currently running Thunder Pound with PvP attack and burning damage, Elbow Edge with PvP attack and accuracy, Twisted Collision with PvP attack and down smash, Wave Orb with PvP attack and attack speed, Sea Burial with PvP attack and critical hit, Rising Dragon with critical hit and attack speed. Now, the ideology behind these skill add-ons is with my main sustained damage skill, Thunder Pound, I'm applying damage over time while raising my PvP attack, and with Elbow Edge being a stun, they're burning, and I am still gaining more PvP attack to move into my heavier hitting skills, Wave Orb, Rising Dragon. And the raising of attack speed for these skills allows the animations to get faster and faster the longer I'm comboing an opponent. And with that faster attack speed, I can get out some of the longer animation skills, such as Dragon's Rip or Dragon's Pit. Okay, and Sea Burial is just for that quick burst, Twisted Collision and a Sea Burial. But this skill add-on setup is just for high damage with a little bit of damage over time, right? So going over the specific skills, currently I have 1,364 skill points. So I do not have every skill that I want maxed, but I do have a decent amount of skills. So I'm just going to go over the skills one by one and tell you its importance. Dragon Eyes is an amazing attack speed, resistance, and DP buff. You want to use this skill when you're ready to burst an opponent. Tranquility should be used whenever you are low on WP, pretty much off cooldown. Infinite Fortitude is very situational. It's basically your own PA. It's an amazing skill, and even sometimes after you're grabbed, this buff still goes on for a certain period of time to where you'll still have extra DP if you get grabbed out of this animation. Tidal Burst, it's more of a PvE skill than it is PvP. I think I currently have this at level 3. It's pretty decent to use in certain situations, but it's unprotected, so it's not going to be one of your main combo skills. Spiral Torpedo, you need this max as quickly as possible. It being 62 skill points, it is still worth it because it raises your AP by 16 for 10 seconds. So using this off cooldown is very essential for a Mystic. That way you can ensure that you have as much AP stacked on your character as possible. An extra 16 AP is just too insane to pass up. Dragon Shatter, I do not have this skill. I do not have Dragon Shatter. In my current SP build, I probably won't be getting this for a long time. Double Flash, mandatory. It's one of your main evasive skills. Hurricane Sweep is pretty good in PvE. It's not bad in certain PvP situations to raise the DP of an opponent very quickly and gain a little bit of HP. Let's say if you're in a group fight and you want to just lower the DP of a very tanky opponent. It's a pretty good situational skill. Enhanced Wolf's Frenzy is an amazing skill, however it does not take priority over your main PvP skills because of its situational use. Wolf's Frenzy can only be used in a solo fight if there are no mobs around. If there are multiple enemies in the middle of a battlefield, the burst damage of Wolf's Frenzy diminishes per opponent hit because you're hitting multiple opponents instead of the same opponent. But if you're fighting just one opponent, Wolf's Frenzy is amazing because every single teleport hit will go towards that same target if there's no interference or no mobs around. So Wolf's Frenzy is amazing situationally, and you're invincible while doing an insane amount of damage. Rapid Stream is a very good combo skill. It is not protected, so it has to be used situationally. Again, very good in PvE as well. Sea Burial. One of the best skills that Mystic has, to be honest. It has a huge AoE range and it can cancel Twisted Collision in the air. So if you L1 into forward R2, which is how I have my key bindings set up, I'll show my key bindings after this skill, but you can actually cancel Twisted Collision into Sea Burial, and this is how you'll see me reaching around my opponent in certain situational fights if you watch any of my Mystic PvP. Dragon's Pit, amazing skill. It completely reduces the pressure of an opponent by lowering their cast speed, movement speed, attack speed, and it is 100% critical rate. So when you drop that on an opponent that's been comboed, it's just an amazing combo skill, man. Don't ever underestimate Dragon's Pit. And if any opponent walks into Dragon's Pit, you immediately gain the advantage in the fight. Close Sea Burial is mandatory if you're going to be using Sea Burial. It's super armor just like Sea Burial, but it allows you to come out of certain skills and cancel them with Sea Burial. It's mandatory. Dragon's Rip is a super armor damage dealing CC. It pulls targets in. I typically pair it with Dragon's Pit. The damage of Dragon's Rip is not high because the chances of an opponent being in the explosion, which is most of the damage, is very low. So it's not so much more for the damage as it is for positioning the enemy team or CCing the enemy team so that you can CC them or so that your team can CC them. Wave Orb, Flow Wave Orb, mandatory. Main damage skills, mandatory. Rising Dragon, mandatory. These are your staple as a Mystic. Wave Orb into Rising Dragon when an opponent is knocked on the ground is going to be about 75% of your damage on a Mystic. Right? Now, for main skills, these are useless outside of leveling. Okay, so these are useless. Martial Spirit is it's a passive. Flash Step, you need that max as soon as possible. It's your main evasive skill. Silent Step, you need that maxed. It's one of your other main evasive skills. These are both iframes, and they increase your movement distance or movement distance and movement speed as you level them. Well, Flash Step increases movement distance, but both of these increases movement speed as you level them. Evasion, I have that locked. You get caught and most likely CC'd if you are ever evading. So you want to lock that. Wolf, another good passive. Fist of True Strength is only good to level so that you can unlock Perfect Blow, which is our bomb skill, which is way at the bottom. You only want to level that enough to get Perfect Blow. Perfect Blow is one of our main damage dealing skills. While I'm down here, I will say that Nature's Wrath is a very good skill. However, with my ring menu setup, I will show you after my skills, I do not have enough ring menu slots to use this. Therefore, it is not being used in my current build. Maybe in the future, I can figure out a way to work this in, but as of right now, it is not worth it for me to have this skill. The only bomb skill I'm using is Perfect Blow. So, Soul Basher, I have that locked. It should have been locked. Blow Drive, I don't use it because it's an extension of Soul Basher. Absolute Soul Basher, I do not have it because I don't use Soul Basher. Scissor Kick, I have that locked because forward circle on Mystic and Pre-Awakening will take you into Spiral Torpedo, which will take you into Awakening if you have Scissor Kick locked. Spiral Torpedo takes priority over Scissor Kick because even though Scissor Kick is super armor, Spiral Torpedo raises your AP and can allow you to quick switch from Pre-Awakening to Awakening. So in my opinion, Scissor Kick becomes useless because they share the same hotkey as Spiral Torpedo, and Spiral Torpedo is more important. Triple Flying Kick, useless. Binding, amazing skill. Eventually I may get the Absolute after I get abundance of skill points. It's not priority right now. Adamantine is not priority right now. I have it locked. Flow Mass Destruction is an amazing skill. You definitely want to have it unlocked so that you can Flow Mass Destruction to an opponent's backside, get the stun off, and continue comboing. Eventually, I probably will get it as an absolute. As of right now, it's not priority. Crouching Wolf needs to be ring menued. This is how you will switch into Pre-Awakening when your Perfect Blow is off cooldown. This Crouching Wolf is mandatory. It's a super armor. You have to use the skill. It increases your attack speed and allows you to switch into Pre-Awakening. It's just too good not to have, and it needs to be on ring menu. Ankle Hook, it's locked. I don't use it. Flow Prey Hunt. You definitely want to have this as it gives you a little bit of more WP when you're using Crouching Wolf, and it increases the attack range to hit certain enemies. Good in PvE to round up mobs, and in PvP it's good. It's just, it's a good filler while switching to Pre-Awakening. David Queen, locked. Recoil Slam, don't use it. Bombardment, don't use it. Thunder Pound. I cannot stress how good Thunder Pound is. It is a low cooldown. I have it absoluted. It's a low cooldown forward guard with skill add-ons that raises your attacks, your PvP attack, applies a DOT burn damage, knockdown on the good last hit, stuns as you're attacking, and it's a forward guard. I cannot stress how good this skill is. This will be one of your main attack skills when fighting opponents, as it is your safest skill to use because of its long forward guard animation. The chances of an opponent running into your forward guard are very high, and most people will confuse, like, the skill looks like any other skill, so it's really hard to tell when a Mystic is really using this skill. However, once again, yeah, this is your bread and butter, man. It's your bread and butter. Shackling Chain, you gotta have it. Reduces the evasion of your target while using Thunder Pound, gotta have it. Combo Hurricane, don't use it. Flow Death Cloud, don't use it. Splinter Thud, don't use it. Bolster Thump, you just don't need these anymore. Now that you have your Awakening skills, you're gonna go into more advanced combos. Hidden Claw, don't use it. Death Strike, don't use it. Savage Fang, do not use it. Fist Fury, do not use it. Wolf's Frenzy, again, as I explained with Enhanced Wolf Frenzy, the skill is utterly amazing. However, it is very situational, so it takes last priority when you're building your Mystic. However, once you get enough skill points like I have to include it into your build, around 1300 skill points, it becomes a very key disengagement or engagement or re-engagement skill. It's very situational, but in the situations that you can use it, it's amazing, man. It's so amazing. It's a teleport that just allows you to apply pressure. The only thing is when there's multiple opponents around, the skill's usage becomes not as good. So it's more of a single target. There's no enemies around. You can apply pressure, or if you're just trying to apply pressure in a group situation while popping potions, there's various situations where you can use this. Elbow edge, I have this absoluted because I wanted to do as much damage as possible, because typically I elbow edge after a Thunder Pound into a Roaring Tiger. Rip Crusher, don't use it. Tornado, don't use it. Somersault, it's not bad. I use it sometimes when I'm evading. It doesn't take you very far, but it is a somewhat evasive skill. Dash Buster, I don't really use this because it re-engages after Somersault, and the only real reason to use Somersault is to disengage, in my opinion. Twisted Collision, very, very essential skill. You want to max this as soon as possible because of its damage, and it combos into a lot of it combos into Sea Burial, which is going to be bread and butter for you. I will absolute it very soon. Flow Skyhammer I will get eventually. I have Flow, Landslide, Fatal Smash, and I have all these flows for Twisted Collision at level 1 right now until I get Twisted Collision Absolute and start getting extra skill points. I use them more so for the debuffs than I do for the damage. That's why I have them at level 1. And they're also used as kind of filler and also mobility to reach high level areas that other classes cannot reach without their Twisted Collision. Only strikers can really match Mystic's ability to reach those high level areas. Roaring Tiger, I have it absoluted. I have the Black Spirit locked, but I do have the absolute, as it is an amazing knockdown hit, which also recovers HP. Rage Hammer, I do not use it, as I explained earlier. Mountain Aura, maxed. Infinite Aura, Mastery, maxed. Skill Hunter, I do not have the skill points to put into PvE damage as of right now on my Mystic, so this takes last priority. Mystic has enough PvE damage even without this. This is more so for in-game high level. You want to min-max your PvE. And once again, I explained I'm only using Perfect Blow as my bomb. Now, for my interface settings, action keys, main attack is X, R2 secondary, L2 sprint, triangle, jump. Square interactions, L1 for special action 1, R1 special action 2, circle special action 3. Ring menu settings, potions on left D-pad, WP on right D-pad, wave orb on L2 up, L2 down is Dragon's Pit. You don't need to hotkey Dragon's Rip because it's just back R2 or down R2. L2 left is all of my miscellaneous menu options. L2 right is how I'm switching between my Rosar and my Kudum for certain situations. If I need more DP, I use Rosar. If I need more burst, I use Kudum. I'm also having my buffs on these skills. However, Tranquility, I can L2 triangle. Dragonize, I can L2 R1. The only one that I can't use is my PA, my personal PA. And I also use water. Perfect Blow is my up D-pad. It's very essential that I can use this very quickly because the skill has a very difficult hitbox. Down for Crouching Wolf on the D-pad. Again, I need to be utilizing this very quickly. So those are my ring menu settings, right? Alright, so starting with the actual utilization of these skills. Now, to buff before a fight, you are going to Crouching Wolf, cancel it into Flow Mass Destruction. That will get you your attack speed buffs and you are ready to engage. Now to fully buff, you are going to L2 R1 into Dragonize, into Crouching Wolf, into Flow Mass Destruction. That will get you your Dragonize buff with your Crouching Wolf attack speed up, and you will have essentially all the buffs you need in order to completely burst an opponent, right? Now for disengagement, the mobility skills that I'm using are clearly going to be flash step. The more hits that I have, the more yellow circles below my health bar that you see, the more dashes I will have for my flash step, right? And once I run out of dashes with my flash step, I will spiral torpedo, and sometimes I will somersault, twisted collision, sea burial. These are all the skills that I'm using for quick mobility, right? Flash step, somersault, spiral torpedo, twisted collision, sea burial, because they're so quick and they'll throw opponent off guard, and they're also low cooldown. But for the most part, you're engaging with flash step, spiral torpedo. It's pretty much the same way as you disengage. Flash step, spiral torpedo. You always want to keep your AP up, that's what you get for using spiral torpedo. And it's also essentially it's a burst speed attack that will allow you to just get slightly ahead of an opponent who's trying to pressure you. Right now, for your starter combos, I typically start most of my combos when I'm fighting an opponent in pre-awakening. I will flash step into a thunder pound, into an elbow edge, into a roaring tiger. That's going to be your basic starter combo. And once you get that opponent on the ground, again, flash stepping into a thunder pound, into an elbow edge, into a roaring tiger, into a wave orb, into a rising dragon, into a twisted collision sea burial to their backside, into a dragon's rip, into a dragon's pit. Now, when your dragon's rip and dragon's pit are off cooldown, you're going to flash step into, you're going to make sure you're in pre-awakening, flash step into a thunder pound, into an elbow edge, into a roaring tiger, into a wave orb, into a rising dragon, twisted collision, sea burial. You're on their backside, back into pre-awakening, into a perfect blow. I'm going to go over that one more time, and I'm going to do another variation of this skill command, but I'm going to do it with your dragon's pit on cooldown. You're going to flash step into thunder pound, into elbow edge, roaring tiger, wave orb, rising dragon, dragon's pit, perfect blow. You have to be very careful that you align your red cursor with a red crosshair on the opponent when you perfect blow, because perfect blow has a very small hitbox. Right now, those are the pre-awakened into awakened combos. Now, when you are fighting an opponent that needs to be bursted very quickly, I'm going to flash step until I see them mess up. Then I'm going to wave orb, which is a frontal block, into a rising dragon. Once they are on the ground, that's when you perfect blow into a thunderbound combo, into a roaring tiger, and then the second you get them on the ground, you are going to grab them, binding to their backside, back into another wave orb. Right? Most of these combos are switching between awakening and pre-awakening so that you can utilize the thunder pound and the wave orb. These are your main damage dealing skills, and perfect blow is your main finisher. Okay, now I'm going to do a full combo here. Flash step into a thunder pound, into an elbow edge, roaring tiger, wave orb, rising dragon, into a wolf's frenzy. After you get wolf's frenzy, it will become a very, very, very good finisher for you to follow up on opponents that are standing up. Now, one combo that you can do as you're grabbing is to grab into wave orb, into rising dragon, on their backside, crouching wolf into a perfect blow, thunder pound, elbow edge, roaring tiger, twisted collision, into a sea burial. That is the main damage dealing combo that I'm going to do when an opponent is on the ground. Then I will grab into a wave orb, into a rising dragon, into a dragon's rip, into a dragon's pit, twisted collision, sea burial, crouching wolf, perfect blow, thunder pound, elbow edge into a roaring tiger. As you can see, the majority of my combos are swapping between wave orb, perfect blow, rising dragon. These are just gonna be your main damage dealing skills, okay you guys? And when you get an opponent on the ground, for binding, it is wave orb into rising dragon. That's gonna be your staple, okay? And after that, you can copy my combos, but the creativity of the mystic comes after this point. But I will say that you just want to pay attention that your main damage dealing skills are wave orb, rising dragon, and perfect blow, and you don't want to miss your perfect blow. Sometimes I will use perfect blow as an engagement if I'm engaging a large group, because it is a frontal block and it does get you into battle very quickly. But now I'm going to go ahead and show you some actual live demonstrations of me utilizing some combos in real life situations. Alright, so in this situation I was actually really low HP, fighting a pretty good sorceress. So I twisted collision and fatal smash onto the cliff here. That way I can get to a point where he can't reach, so I could repotion, and the goal is to re-engage, right? So after I'm full health, I jump down, spiral torpedo in to get that AP boost into a sea burial wave orb, rising dragon. He iframes most of the rising dragon, but it's okay. I stay focused, drop a dragon's pit, hoping he'll run into it. He backs up and I see it, so I engage him with a twisted, get him on the knockdown, try and get a little bit more damage off, but he stands up too quickly and I drop combo. So here I am blocking and baiting, run in for a grab, wave orb into another rising dragon, tidal burst. He stands up out of it. He's evading very, very well, as sorcerers do, so I can't really full combo him. So I'm blocking, evading with super armors and frontal block of thunder pound. Every time he runs at me, he's running into a frontal block. Eventually he V's, but he actually dies to the damage over time. That damage over time was applied by the frontal block thunder pound combo. Alright, so in this situation, I am fighting another mystic. We were fighting for a good 2 minutes, and neither one of us could really get the burst off, but us both being pretty adamant on trying to get the other opponent, neither one of us gives up. We're still fighting. So he CCs me but doesn't get a knockdown. I crouching blow to super armor his combo into a frontal block knockdown roaring tiger. Keep the pressure up with the sea burial. Catch him with another thunder pound as he's facing the wrong direction. Another thunder pound again. He's facing the wrong direction. Roaring tiger into a perfect blow. Knock him down into a wave orb rising dragon. He tries to run. I dragon's pit him and then finish off with another thunder pound. In this situation, I have to catch a running opponent. He ran into my grind spot and then tried to get away. Can't let you do that, dude. Catch him with a spiral torpedo into a perfect blow, thunder pound. The mobs start getting in the way, so I really drop combo. But I do get him with a little bit of that sea burial. Grab him as he's trying to escape into a thunder pound elbow edge roaring tiger. He gets bursted. I see his teammate over here. My goal is to try and knock him down into a thunder pound elbow edge roaring tiger. The mob's getting away. I see him running. I try and dragon pit to drag him back. Lolly's freaking shies are really evasive and really got a lot of DP, so I switch back over to him because I see him tier, get him into a wave orb rising dragon combo. My goal is to try and keep the AP bonus from Spiral Torpedo up, Twisted Collision cancel into the Sea Burial, and finish him with the Wave Orb. Now the target is the Lolly. She catches me in the CC, I dash behind her, get the grab off, Crouching Wolf into a Thunder Pound, Elbow Edge, Roaring Tiger knockdown, Wave Orb into a Rising Dragon to finish her off in a one burst combo. Alright, so this last one I gotta show just for the memes. I'm running on my horse and Luminosity for some reason tries to kill me unprovoked. So I pot up, run around, get my horse out of range, wait for him on the bush, jump at him with a Twisted Collision Sea Burial. I miss the grab, he teleports so I can pressure him into a Wave Orb, Rising Dragon ultimate, and try and Dragons rip him, but he just dies from the burst. Alright guys, it's been a very long video. I appreciate you all for watching. I will definitely see you next video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Other than that, peace and love everybody.